Before we could get married, my childhood sweetheart, my fiancée, decided to elope with the man she truly loved. Her parents locked her up, trying to stop her, but she called me, begging me to drive her down the mountain so she could run away. With him, I refused. Her true love came anyway, driving a beat-up rental car to pick her up in the middle of the night. But on their way down the mountain, they got into an accident. He died. She survived. In the end, she stayed behind and married me. We had a child together, or so I thought. Years passed, and then my company went bankrupt. That day, Clara, my wife, laughed like a maniac. She confessed it was her who leaked company secrets. And then she dropped the final blow. The child I raised, Mike, wasn't mine. She told me she'd had a one-night stand with a stranger in a bar. Only then did I finally understand. She had always hated me. Blamed me for Calvin's death, the man she loved. And she'd spent all these years taking her revenge. Then, I opened my eyes. It was the night she wanted to run away, again this time. Instead of refusing, I looked at her and asked if she wanted to take my car. It would get them down the mountain faster. David, you finally met your match, she said, voice trembling with rage. I'm telling you all of this, everything, was my doing. You deserved it, because back then, when you didn't let me leave with Calvin, and he died, I swore I'd make your life more miserable than death. She was crying outside my hospital room, yelling at me. I had collapsed from overwork, desperately trying to salvage the company after a major data leak. When I regained consciousness, I asked, clutching my chest, Clara, what are you saying? She sneered. I leaked the company's secrets. I want you bankrupt and destitute. Oh, and here's a little bonus, your beloved Mike isn't even your son. She handed me a DNA test. Then she laughed, wild and cold. A one-night stand at a bar owed David for years of marriage, and now I've finally avenged Calvin. You see, Clara and I had grown up together. Our families were neighbors, so marrying each other just felt like the natural next step. But right before the wedding, she confessed she loved someone else, Calvin. She said she wanted to leave with him. Her parents were furious. They locked her up. She begged me to help her get to him, but I didn't. That night, she sneaked out and met Calvin anyway. He was waiting in a rental car on the mountain road, no headlights. Too dangerous. They crashed. Calvin died. Clara lived. She seemed genuinely remorseful afterward. I thought time would heal everything. I forgave her. We got married, had a son, lived a seemingly happy life. Now I know it was all a lie. Clara had always blamed me for Calvin's death, and she spent years plotting her revenge. I coughed up blood and passed out. When I opened my eyes, Agani was back on the night of our engagement. David, I don't like you. I won't marry you, Clara said, her eyes cold and voice defiant. I want passionate, romantic love. Calvin takes me on bike rides under the stars and moon. You're just boring, always talking about business. Her father, livid, told her mother, lock her up. She's marrying David whether she wants to or not. If she dares go to that man, we'll disown her. But Clara fired back. Why do you all look down on Calvin? Ever heard, don't underestimate a poor young man. Calvin was a middle school dropout who made a living racing illegally and blew his money just as fast. But to Clara, he was a talented rebel prince. Pretending to side with her parents, I glanced at Clara. She glared at me. Don't play the good guy. Even if you lock me up, I won't marry you. I'd rather eat breadcrumbs with Calvin. That's when I laughed. Their dramatic little love story amused me, but I was already thinking ahead. That night, I found her sneaking out, hopping into Calvin's waiting junk pickup. When she saw me, she panicked, thinking I'd ruin everything. But she was wrong. I didn't plan to stop her. In fact, I supported her. I handed her my car keys. Want to borrow my car? It'll be faster. Clara stared at me, stunned. I smiled. Silly girl, you're like my sister. I just want you to be happy. Go find your happiness with Calvin. She took the keys, her face lighting up. Thanks, David. You've always cared about me. I looked over at Calvin, leather jacket, dyed hair. He was exactly her type. A walking red flag. Then I pulled a bank card from my wallet. You didn't bring anything. Take this. Not much, but it'll help you get started. Calvin will surely treat you well. Calvin grinned and took the card. That money would buy them time and drain her family's patience, maybe even cut their ties. I watched them drive off in my car and yawned. Then I called a tow truck to haul their junker away. By morning, chaos had erupted at home. My mum said Clara had run off in the night, leaving behind a note, off to find my happiness. Her parents were furious. Clara even posted a photo online. Her and Calvin on a beach, arms around each other, captioned, "Nothing is more important than true love. And I know I'll be happy." I liked the post. Friends messaged me in shock. I told them Clara eloped for love. They couldn't believe it. Said it was like something out of a TV drama, rich girl and a rebellious guy on a motorcycle. The families quickly met to decide what to do about the engagement party, which was just 3 hours away. That's when Clara's younger sister, Emma, stepped up. "David, would you marry me? If you're willing, let's get engaged today." Emma had always followed Clara and me around as kids, calling me brother. She even chose the same college major to stay close. She was a few years younger, sweet, shy, and sincere. Everyone turned to look at me. If I said yes, it would prevent a huge scandal and save both families' reputations. I looked at Emma, blushing, but brave. I suddenly felt a strange warmth. "Sure," I said, "let's get engaged." Luckily, the invitations just said family engagement celebration, so we didn't need to explain much. Most guests didn't even know who my fiancée was. When Emma came out in her sister's tailored dress, I was stunned. She was more slender, and the dress looked even more graceful on her. The engagement went perfectly. At the ring exchange, my mum handed me our family heirloom, a blue sapphire ring, instead of the custom one. She whispered, "Honestly, I'm quite happy with Emma. Her family's mess isn't her fault. Don't make her suffer." I slipped the ring on Emma's finger. It fit perfectly. Maybe it really was fate. After the fiasco, Clara's dad decided to have Emma start training at the company. She showed real promise. Meanwhile, Clara and Calvin had moved to Cydia. They messaged to say they'd rented a little place, and Calvin was looking for steady work. I replied, telling them not to worry about the family as long as they were happy. That was enough. Emma worked hard taking classes, learning everything at her father's company. She'd often come home with files and questions, and slowly, we started becoming more like a real couple. Things grew naturally. 3 months later, Clara called me out of the blue. "David, did you seriously get engaged to my sister?" I laughed. "Clara, are you serious? You ran off with another guy and expect me to just wait around for you?" She hesitated. Then, with a softer tone, "Do you think me leaving brought you two together?" I saw her post. She looked so happy. That little girl always had a crush on you. Now she's living her dream. I was shocked. Emma had a crush on me. Before I could respond, Clara continued, "Without me and Calvin leaving, she wouldn't have had this chance, and now she won't even send me money. David, wire me 100 grand, please." I played dumb. "What about the card I gave you? That should have lasted a while, plus the car." She said they couldn't find decent work in CDA, used the money up. Calvin tried to start a business, sold the car, invested everything and got scammed. Now they couldn't even pay rent. For a month, I pretended to be caught between things. "Your dad doesn't want me or Emma to help you," I said. Clara snapped. "Don't think I don't see what you're doing. You just want to watch me crawl back to you, huh? You think I'd do that just because Calvin's broke? Dream on. He's still better than you'll ever be. I'll endure poverty," she said, "but I'll never come back to you." And she slammed the phone down. When her dad found out, he nearly had a heart attack. "If she dares come back with that man, we're done. No money, no support." Still, I knew deep down, he was her father. One mistake wouldn't sever everything. A month passed with no news. Then, Clara posted a photo online of a positive pregnancy test. I remembered her once getting pregnant with another man just to humiliate me. I could never forget the hate in her eyes. This time, she'd finally gotten pregnant with her dream guy, Calvin. I wondered how long that happiness would last. She'd defied her family, gotten pregnant without consent, and trusted Calvin again. Her most recent post, a simple photo of a bowl of street food with the caption, "In a world filled with the ups and downs of everyday life, sometimes just having the person you love beside you feels like more than enough." I almost laughed out loud thinking about it. Clara, the girl who grew up spoiled and picky, actually eating street food now. This was someone who once complained about five-star hotel dishes, saying the wagyu wasn't fresh enough or the plating wasn't pretty enough. And yet, here she was, enjoying a bowl of spicy street-style hot pot, like it was some kind of fireworks moment in life. Emma, her sister, had seen Clara's social media post and was speechless. "Has she lost her mind?" she said. "That Calvin guy doesn't seem like a good person at all. She spent hundreds of thousands on him in just 6 months and still believes he's just waiting for the right opportunity to succeed." I chuckled. Who knows? Maybe this is what people mean when they say someone's love struck. But even when love strikes hard, it doesn't compare to the weight of real life. Clara came back home when she was 5 months pregnant. When I got to her place, there she was, belly showing, sitting on the couch, looking right at her dad. "I'm your daughter too," she said. "I deserve half the family's assets. Just give me my share. And if you don't want to recognize me as your daughter anymore, that's fine." Her dad's face darkened. "Nonsense," Clara snapped. "I left to pursue true love. Why are you so narrow-minded, trying to force your daughter into a loveless marriage? Just give me what's mine and I won't bother you again." Emma stepped in to calm things down. "Sis, have you thought this through? Is Calvin really worth cutting ties with the whole family?" Clara sneered. "Isn't this exactly what you wanted? Now you can be with David and take all the family assets. Are you happy now? Anyway, I'm taking my share today." Emma's face turned red with frustration and she stopped engaging. Their father sighed heavily. "If you leave Calvin and come back, I'll forgive you. But if you insist on this path, then know that you'll no longer be my daughter. And the company won't have anything to do with you anymore." Clara raised her chin defiantly. "If you want me back, give Calvin a managerial position at the company. He's capable, he'll do well. If you won't agree to that, then I'll leave with him, and you can consider me a stranger." Her father didn't argue. "Fine," he said. He took out a card. "There's $1 million on this. Take it. From now on, you're not my daughter. Sign this agreement to give up your inheritance rights." Clara didn't hesitate. She signed, fingerprinted the document, grabbed the card, and walked out without a glance back. "Don't come looking for me, even when I succeed," she said. She had no idea what she was giving up, but honestly, that worked perfectly for me. She wouldn't have another chance. Outside, Calvin was waiting dressed in a leather jacket and pants, smoking on a motorcycle. "Did you get the money?" he asked when he saw her. Clara waved the card like a trophy. $1 million. Calvin grinned. "Hop on." Clara climbed onto the bike with some difficulty, being pregnant and all. I watched from the second-floor balcony, wondering, how long would that money last? Turned out, only 2 months. 2 months later, Clara, now 7 months pregnant, showed up again. She and Calvin barged into her dad's company during a shareholders meeting. Clara, standing tall with her pregnant belly, said, "I want to sell my shares, $5 million. Dad, if you don't buy them, I'll sell them to someone else. I'm giving you the first chance because you're my dad." Emma stared at her in disbelief. "Are you serious? You're threatening your own father with your shares, using them as a bargaining chip." Her father didn't argue. He called in a lawyer, signed the contract, wrote the check, and summoned security. "From today, Clara is no longer a shareholder," he announced. "She's not allowed in this building again." With that, Clara lost the last shred of affection her father had for her. She and Calvin moved in with his parents after that. With the $5 million, They bought a house. Calvin's parents went around bragging, boasting that their son had married a rich heiress. His mum told everyone that her son was smart, bringing home money every time they needed it. This time, millions. Calvin became a local celebrity in their poor neighborhood. Everyone greeted him like he was some kind of success story. And with all the attention, his vanity exploded. The first million had already been wasted on gambling. Now, with Clara's $5 million, Calvin bought a house and threw money around to impress his freeloading friends. They cheered him on, luring him into bigger ventures. He fell for it all and burned through more millions. Worse, he ended up $2 million in debt, so he turned to Clara, pressuring her to go home and ask for more money. Clara cried and suggested selling the house to cover the losses. Calvin's mum lost it. "That's my son's house. You can't sell it. Aren't you some rich girl? Go get money from your family." She had no idea Clara had been cut off. Calvin did, but he kept quiet. "Family doesn't hold grudges," he said gently. "Your dad must have been speaking out of anger. Let me take you home. We'll bring a nice bottle of wine and smooth things over." Clara thought it sounded reasonable, but she needed a good excuse to show up. Just then, her father's 60th birthday came up. He invited some close friends for a celebration. Our family went to Emma, and I brought a gift for her father, a calligraphy piece by his favorite master, something I had worked hard to get at auction. Emma was impressed. "Dad might want to sleep hugging this," she joked. Right before the party started, Clara and Calvin showed up. Her dad's face dropped the second he saw them. Clara, acting like nothing had happened, smiled sweetly. "Dad, Calvin and I are here to wish you a happy birthday." Her dad turned away. A guest nearby asked why there wasn't a wedding yet, noting Clara seemed, well, visibly pregnant. Things got awkward. I quickly handed over our gift. "Uncle, this is from Emma and me. Wishing you health and prosperity." Her dad forced a smile and thanked me. When he opened the gift, everyone admired it. One guest even said, "This must have cost a fortune." Future son-in-law really went all out. Her dad looked proud and told my parents, "You raised him well, good kid. I'll have a few drinks with him tonight." But Clara cut in. "Dad, Calvin brought you wine too." Calvin had been sulking from being ignored, but now he lit up and held out the bottle. "That's right, Dad, for you." Her dad waved him off. "Don't call me that. I can't accept it. Take it back." Clara started crying. "How can there be grudges in a family? Just because I married someone I love, you had to cut me off. Isn't that too harsh?" Her dad's face turned cold. "Once you took the dowry money and sold your shares, you were no longer my daughter. Don't talk about family now." Her mum tried to diffuse the tension. "Let's not get upset, it's your birthday." She turned to Clara with disappointment. "Don't upset your father to death." Clara wiped her tears. "I don't care. I need $2 million. If you don't give it to me, I'm not leaving." I was stunned. She sounded just like Calvin's mom demanding. Entitled. Ms stood up. "Sis, if you're here to celebrate, have a seat at another table. This one's full. Don't ruin Dad's birthday." Reluctantly, Clara moved to another table with Calvin. He muttered, "Why can't you sit there? Aren't you his daughter?" Clara replied bitterly, "Because I married someone poor. Unlike the other son-in-law who buys him expensive gifts." Her dad turned pale, then collapsed. Blood pooled from the back of his head. "Dad!" Someone shouted. "Call 911. Clara's dad's birthday had turned into a nightmare at the hospital. Clara stood outside the emergency room, pregnant and silent. Her mum looked at her coldly. "Go away. I don't want to see you." "Mum, I'm still your daughter. How can you be so heartless? Just over money." A nurse came out. "The patient needs blood. Type A. We're low." Emma stepped forward. "I'm his daughter. Test me." But their mum stopped her. "You've got a cold. Clara is type A too." The nurse looked at Clara. "Can you donate?" Calvin nudged her. Clara hesitated, then said, "I will. But first I want $2 million. Everyone froze. The nurse said, "Immediate family can't." Donate anyway. I've already called a backup. Auntie, I'm type A, I'll do it. And I called my dad, too. Clara tried to backtrack. I didn't mean it like that. I'll donate. Her mum slapped her. I've never regretted having you so much. You drove your father to this, and now you're asking for money to save him. She slapped her again. That's for raising you. Emma stared coldly. You had everything. Growing up, now you've ruined Dad, and you're still after money. Get out. Clara broke down. Calvin dragged her away. Later, guests who were at the party heard everything. They called Clara an ingrate. She was no longer family. Calvin, furious about not getting the money, started drinking heavily and taking it out on Clara. One night, he hit her. Clara had never been hit before. Shocked and sobbing, she ran to the rooftop and threatened to jump. A pregnant woman threatening to jump made breaking news. Reporters rushed to the scene. Clara sat on the rooftop, hair messy, wearing clothes borrowed from Calvin's bigger-sized mum, belly heaving with sobs. I was watching the news, stunned. Was that really Clara? Police called Calvin to talk her down. Drunk, he slurred, not my problem. If she wants to die, let her. Clara cried. I want to report him. He spends my money, drinks, and beats me. Calvin's mum shrieked. Nonsense. My son would never hit you. The police warned Calvin not to provoke her. He laughed. Who is she to me? Are we even married? Where's the certificate? Clara realized in horror they never registered their marriage. She sobbed into the camera, begging for exposure. This man used me. My dad only ever loved my sister. I just wanted love. Why am I the bad guy? She stood up, threatening to jump again. Just saying her father's name sent the story trending. Her family watched the coverage in disbelief. Her mum cried. How could she twist everything and smear our names? Clara's dad made a call. Reporters arrived. He apologized on camera. I'm sorry for my daughter's actions. Let me clarify. Emma is adopted. Clara, we gave you everything. Emma isn't even our biological child, and yet she cried when she found out she couldn't donate organs for us if needed. She never wanted our inheritance. So we're donating everything to charity. He looked into the camera. You've disappointed us, Clara. Luckily, we have a good daughter. The news exploded. Clara, watching the interview, fell apart. How could this happen? This was supposed to be mine. The stress sent her into labor. Calvin, seeing her as the heir, again, tried to worm his way back in. Clara forgave him, believing his promises. They planned to register their marriage after her recovery. But her parents had already left on a cruise, ignoring her. Emma and I had moved out to win. She tried to visit the company. Security blocked her. Calvin broke in and got arrested. At the police station, Clara cried. We lost our keys. He was just helping, Emma said. This isn't your home anymore. Everyone knows that. Clara threw the baby into an officer's arms and lunged at me. You orphan, you want to steal my family? I'll tear your mouth apart. I stood between her and Emma. Touch her, and you'll regret it. One officer whispered, Isn't that the woman who tried to jump? Clara shouted, I don't care. Give me the household registration. I need it to get married. I said, You'll get it once you move your registration out. She sneered. Fine, I'll move it to Calvin's after we marry. We handed it over. She happily transferred out. When Calvin found out, he exploded. You fool. Now what about future inheritance? Last time I saw her, Emma and I were prepping for our wedding. We ran into Clara on the street, pregnant again. Calvin was across from her, arm around another woman. Clara yelled, I'm pregnant and you're cheating. Calvin shoved her. You left your family for me, not my fault. You bring nothing to the table. Who would want you? Then he left, arm in arm with the other woman. Clara broke down sobbing. I couldn't help but smile a little. This is the fairy tale romance Clara always dreamed of. Emma looked worried. David. I'm not a biological daughter. If that's an issue, we can cancel the wedding. I gently pinched her nose. Didn't a little girl once have a crush on me, and now that you've got the heirloom ring, you want out? No way, you're stuck with me. She laughed and hugged me. But I won't have any money. I held her close. Then just call me honey, and I'll take care of you. Forever.